Today's build is probably the most fun Titan build that I have used since the Arc Hoyle build got nuked with Lightfall's launch. This build grants you constant uptime to additional damage resistance outside of resilience, lets you render your enemies as anything but a threat, and also gives you one of the strongest builds for endgame content. Today we have the Titan Suspend Strand build. With that being said, I'm SniperKH and let's get into the video. As usual, let's open up with what is required for this build. This build requires that you have access to two separate items. Number one is the Strand subclass for Titans. The specifics of what you need within this subclass will be revealed in just a moment, but for now start with the Strand subclass. From there, you'll want the Aberrant Leap Exotic Titan leg armor. These exotic boots drop from either the end of the Lightfall campaign on your Titan as one of the exotic rewards, or from Legend or Mastered Lost Sector. You will need to have both of these if you want the build to work. You'll also want access to the 5th column of seasonal artifact mods, but we will get there in a moment. Regarding the Strand subclass, you will want to run the following setup. For the super, you'll want to run Blade Fury since that is the only Strand Titan super at the moment. For the Barricade, you can run either Barricade depending on how much protection you want, but I ran the Towering Barricade for additional protection. Plus, the cooldown isn't too much longer. If you do find that you're having difficulty running this build with Towering Barricade, then run Rally Barricade for faster cooldowns. For jumps and melees, run whichever ones you'd like to run. For grenades, run Shackle Grenades to have additional access to Suspend. For aspects, you'll want to run the only two available aspects right now, which are Into the Fray and Drinker's Lash. I will say that out of these two aspects, you'll want Drinker's Lash, as that will grant you the Strand Suspend trackers when you pop your Barricade. For fragments, I'd recommend running the following combination. Run Thread of Mind, Thread of Warding, Thread of Continuity, and also Thread of Generation. Thread of Continuity will let you have extra time to capitalize off of suspended targets, which will let you have extra time to make use of Thread of Mind, which grants you extra class ability energy for killing suspended targets. Thread of Warding will give you easy access to Woven Mail, which gives you additional damage resistance, and Thread of Generation will let you get your grenades slightly faster. Now that the build has been looked through, let's talk about weapons and mods. Moving on to weapons, there are a decent amount of weapons that work well with this build, but I'd highly recommend running one strand weapon due to the mods that we'll be running for this build. If you want a good kinetic strand weapon to use, I'd highly recommend running either Rufus's Fury, the Immortal, or Synchronic Roulette. If you want a good special strand weapon to use, then I'd highly recommend the Volta Bracket Sniper Rifle, as it has great perks and synergizes well with this build. I've been using Rufus's Fury with this build and it has been an absolute blast to use, as it does so much work with this build and with the recent auto rifle buff. For mods, you'll want to prioritize mods that will get you grenades and barricades back faster. For your helmet, run Strand Siphon mods to generate orbs of power on multi-kills. Gauntlet and chest mods don't matter too much since the Gauntlet ability mods don't work very well with this build, so run what you'd like to run here. For boot mods, run 2 Innervation mods and 1 Orb of Restoration mod to get as much ability regeneration as possible. For your mark, I'd recommend running 2 Bomber mods to try and get your grenade back as fast as possible, as you'll be using your class ability a lot. As a bonus, I'd highly recommend that you get the Untangler, Counterweave, and Threaded Blast seasonal mods from the seasonal artifact, as these mods will make this build flow even better. Finally, I'd highly recommend that you run 100 resilience at least, that you can have faster barricade cooldowns and also 30% damage resistance. Having 100 discipline will be helpful as well, but if you can't afford to get 100 discipline, then just focus 100 resilience. Now that that has been discussed, let's talk about the combat flow. The combat flow for this build is pretty simple to follow. When you're about to fight an enemy, start by using your class ability. Using your class ability will send the Drinker's Lash trackers towards your targets, which if it hits them, will suspend them. From there, kill the suspended targets. If you kill one target, you should get a Tangle, which you don't want to shoot quite yet. If you fail to kill other targets that are suspended, you will then shoot the Tangle with a strand weapon to cause a large explosion and can also suspend the targets again. From there, after all targets are dead, run to another group and use your grenade if you don't have your barricade yet. You'll then continue to kill targets until you get your barricade, in which then you'll need to rinse and repeat. Assuming you use this build correctly, you will pretty much never be in danger, as suspended targets can't shoot back, you'll have access to woven melee for getting multi-kills, and you will basically just be a tank. Overall, I'm sure that there are probably better Titan builds out there, but I find this one to be a really fun in-game Titan build, since you can't really die as long as you constantly have suspend up. It's a really effective build in in-game content too, which is always a plus, and I'm sure this build will still work really well come next season after the artifact mods go away. Anyways, that'll do it for this video. If you found it helpful, consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel for more Destiny 2 content dropping weekly. If you want more content from me, then consider stopping by my streams that will resume within the next few days that happen right here on YouTube. Otherwise, follow my social media platforms linked below for updates on when I go live, upload, and more. With that being said, I'm SniperKH, and I'm out. Good luck with gaming.